Hello, I'm Andrea from the Creative Dream Incubator, and in today's daily dream journal video, I'm going to share a page I did about being overwhelmed. And I think I've already mentioned this a few times. That's something I feel often. Like, I was a really shy and kind of frightened child, and like pretty much everything that I do today in my life are things that would have terrified me then. And so it's something that I've worked on a lot and I've overcome a lot, but it's still there. So this is something a journaling technique I use when I feel kind of like a question or a problem is too big, like I couldn't possibly come up with an answer to it. I write it out in a slow way. So often I do these bubble letters and then I color it in behind them, or I do some kind of fancy lettering or something that just kind of slows me down and forces me to spend more time with the question. So what if I stop being overwhelmed so much? And it's like, I mean, for me, like, journaling isn't about finding answers, it's often about finding questions. And if I can be with the questions, that helps me even if I don't come up with an answer. And actually, sometimes at the end of that, all I have are more questions. But then you're actually like, you're in a more honest place than if you're coming up with answers and feeling like you already know what to do. And being able to have questions and being able to not know, that's where growth happens, right? It puts you in a new space or a new perspective. So lots of questions are very good. And so as I spent that time just like writing this out and coloring, then what came to me, I said, overwhelm is a signal to come back to trust. How do I remember this more quickly? So if overwhelm for me is just a signal, then the problem isn't that I get overwhelmed. The problem is that I'm misreading the signal. And when I feel that overwhelm, I sort of dive into that feeling and get overwhelmed by the feeling of overwhelm. Whereas instead, I could be like, oh yeah, that's a reminder that I'm not doing the best job of trusting in this moment. And so I just came up with a list of things that I could do to help me use overwhelm as a signal more quickly. But that's not what I wanted to really share about this journal page. It was more the idea of can you give more space to the questions and the things that kind of block you and that you feel stuck about? Can you give them more room, and can you just be with the discomfort of it? Because that always leads to, I was going to say something good. Not always something good. It always leads to learning something new about yourself, and usually something important.